Remember flashbacks, cash apps, now we flipping shit, we could go back.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the NBA Recap. Yes, sir, back into the video. We're back doing that episode. And today, we are going to talk about the recap of the play-in tournament. Because it's kind of coming to a close tonight because the Warriors will be playing the Grizzlies tonight. And I'm a firm believer that the Warriors will win that game. And Steph Curry will finally succeed in getting to the playoffs without any help, proving the haters wrong. But I wanted to do a recap of the play-in tournament and what things surprised me and what things that were very worth talking about. It's going to be a little action-packed show, so we're going to talk a lot about it. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into this tournament. Now, I want to go all the way to the first couple games, which was the Hornets versus the Pacers and the Wizards versus the Celtics. I see that game seems like it was so long ago, but it's actually only like not even 5 days ago. But we're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about those games more especially the Wizards versus Celtics. But I'm going to touch on the Hornets versus the Pacers, man. Now, the Hornets versus Pacers, man, was a pretty boring game because it turned out to be like a 30-point blowout. The Pacers came out winning that game. The Hornets obviously were dealing with their injuries, but at the end of the day, they just showed their youth. They just showed their youth in that game. They didn't come out with any firepower. They're looking at Terry Rozier to be that guy to give them the firepower, but he didn't. But he didn't do anything. Um, he tried to give us a mellow ball, but he was getting stripped every 5 seconds by TJ McConnell. Um, Miles Bridges had a decent game. He tried to be that energy guy, but I feel like most of his points came in garbage time. But yeah, the Pacers, man, they just went gunning, man. Like they were gunning. Doug McDermott looked like Klay Thompson 2.0. TJ McConnell was running back and forth, looking for loose balls, steals, and everything. DeMar DeRozan, although he didn't have a great scoring game, had a near triple double of 14, 21, and 9. Ridiculous. Justin Holiday, O'Shea Brissett, a guy that was on the Raptors last year, came to the Pacers, and now has been hooping for them the past couple months. Amazing. They were just shooting on all ends, making the Hornets look like a G League team. Like it was really bad what the Hornets were trying to do. I guess Cody Zeller was nice, but most of his points did come in garbage time. He did try to bring him back a little bit, but obviously did not pan out that well. It was just a really overall bad first impression of the playing games because that was a really bad game to start. You know what I'm saying? So hey, we're gonna have to move on from that. Um, Next thing I want to talk about is the Wizards versus Celtics that game. It was very high stakes competitive, but then it turned into being an 18-point blowout by the Celtics. Um, I kind of had that in the back of my mind that someone was going to go off, and that guy was, of course, Jason Tatum. Now, Jason Tatum had a 50-point game, shot the ball like 36 times, but he was killing everybody, especially in that third quarter, man. He just went off. Like the way he was putting people dribble and step back threes. I'm making a video about Jason Tatum soon. And the Celtics as a whole. But the way he makes bad shots look so great. Like the man will take a half spin, step back three, make it, and people will be like, "What?" Like it doesn't make any sense the shots that he makes and takes, and it's just so ridiculously weird how he's able to make that like into fruition. Kemba Walker also had a really good game. People forget that Kemba Walker is an all-star point guard in this league, so I think they forget it just because he's really inconsistent and he's inefficient. But that game, he was pretty much shooting the lights out. Obviously, wasn't as efficient as maybe like the Tatum, but like it was there. It was up there. You know what I'm saying? For the Wizards side, Russell Westbrook had a horrid game. Um, he just shot the ball really bad, like ridiculously bad. Bradley Beal was limping because that hamstring was still bothering him at the time. Um, it was just really bad. He tried to bring it back in the second half, but obviously it didn't pan out that well. Um, Bradley Beal obviously was the primary guard on Jason Tatum. That's what it was in the regular season. But obviously, if Bradley Beal is hurt, it's going to be hard to guard. So at the same time, you can't really do much about that. Um, for also the Wizards, I think Ish Smith had a really good game. Voice crack. Had a really good game. I didn't really expect him to be in the lineup that much because I haven't seen him many Wizards games that I watched. Maybe I haven't been watching in a while, but the Wizards, the Wizards, Robin Lopez also had a pretty good game. I was kind of confused on why Scott Brooks decided to put Davis Bertans into the lineup over Rui Hashimura. Um, Very questionable. I don't understand why he did that, but it was a bit odd to see that. But at the end of the day, the Wizards just played bad, and the Celtics just played decent. The injuries for the Celtics, man, was just going crazy that game, by the way, too. Um, I want the next game I want to move on to was the Western playing tournament, which was way more fun to watch than the others than the East. I'm gonna first start off with the Spurs versus Grizzlies. Um, it was a very close game, a very exciting game, to say the least. The Grizzlies, man, the Grizzlies came out gunning as well, man. Dylan Brooks was looking like MVP, looking like the MVP. John Morant was hitting threes. Valanciunas was looking like Pau Gasol. Like it was really crazy to see that the Grizzlies were coming out so hard against the Spurs. Um, for the Spurs, man, they obviously did come back. DeMar DeRozan had a terrible shooting night, because Dylan Brooks was on that ass, and the way that it was going was that it was kind of just like really bad back and forth. Like they were not shooting the ball; they were missing on both ends of the floor. Rudy Gay had a pretty decent game. He was in some clutch shots at the end, but obviously the Grizzlies came out on top. Valanciunas was probably the MVP of this game, having a 23 and 23 game. Um, Dylan Brooks also had a really good game. John Morant had a decent game, but it obviously was not efficient. Um, but yeah, Dylan Brooks, man, Dylan Brooks, up and coming star with the Grizzlies, man. I mean, he was great last year too. But like, I think my only issue with him is that he gets fouled so many times. He fouls other people so many times. It's kind of ridiculous. Um, he can sometimes he'll go 1 for 12, sometimes he'll go 9 of 16. But yeah, I think it was an all around good game for the Grizzlies, man. But they got to prepare because they got the Warriors next. So, yeah, it's for the Spurs, man. I don't really know where they go from here. Um, this is the second time missing the playoffs in consecutive seasons. That has happened in the last 45 years. So yeah, pretty interesting on where it's gonna go from that point. I want to talk about the game of probably the entire playing game was Lakers versus Warriors. Probably one of the most exciting games of the season. Actually, it was the best game of the season. I know Adam Silver was even doing his evil laugh in his chair while he was watching this game. Um, it started off with the Warriors being defensively impacted ridiculously in the first half. Steph Curry was actually I will actually give the Warriors credit. Steph Curry was being guarded pretty well in the first quarter, and like a lot of the second quarter. But then that like the last couple minutes of the second quarter, Steph Curry started to get his rhythm, started to feel it, and he had a mean step back three at the buzzer, man. It was ridiculous. LeBron and Anthony Davis had pretty horrid games in the first half. Also with Dennis Schroeder. I think they were like combined like 2 of 12. Like it was really bad. But yeah, Draymond Green was just defensively destroying Anthony Davis. Um, well, at least in the first half, and Andrew Wiggins was looking like Scottie Pippen, getting up shots and guarding LeBron. It was tough, man. But I feel like I don't know. Most people aren't really saying this, but I feel like LeBron took that first half as more of a feel out first half, like he usually does with any series that he's in. He usually takes that first game to get the feel up. But obviously, it's just a 1 game elimination or 1 game tournament. You have to obviously, he's probably going to fill out the first half, which he did. Wasn't very aggressive. I don't think he's still, in all, I don't think he's still 100%. Obviously, he was looking a little bit weird walking down, um, trying to do these different things. But Dennis Schroeder, man, Dennis Schroeder was really bad. It was really bad. The way he was trying to score was just bad. Um, I feel like that's why in the second half he didn't play as much. The second half was a complete, well, not complete, but like a definite turnaround for the Lakers. Man, they started to clamp down defensively. Anthony Davis was starting to hit his shots. LeBron was also starting to get aggressive, and man, Alex Caruso in that first half had a mean first half. 12 points on, I believe, 4 of 4 shooting. Um, yeah, he was that guy. He was really that guy. Also with KCP was also keeping them in the game. But yeah, in the second half, defensively they just clamped down. They did a pretty good job, Steph Curry down the stretch. But in that third quarter, Lakers started to make their run. LeBron started being aggressive. He made some ridiculous passes. Oh my god, man! This is why I feel like for the Lakers to be successful, LeBron needs to be at the point. As much as I love Dennis Schroeder and as much as I love his game, he should not be playing the point guard right now. It should be LeBron freaking James. I think that would make them the most successful in the postseason. But now he was making some ridiculous passes. Oh my god, like it was so sweet the way he was doing it. Anthony Davis started to get aggressive. No, they put Anthony Davis at the five because Andre Drummond was downright unplayable. No offense, Andre Drummond, but yeah, Marcus Gasol did not play. Montrezl got a few minutes, got a couple dunks, but at the same time wasn't in the lineup as much. Um, I was very weird on why Ben McLemore was not playing. Like that was wild to me. But Ben McLemore was not playing for some reason. I don't know why, I don't know how, but he wasn't. But I think the thing with Frank Vogel is that I think this playing game he just wanted to win, so like he obviously put his best lineup in the mix. Wesley Matthews also got some valuable minutes. Man, I think he only hit like 1 3, but like it was really timely three. He was playing great defense. Yeah, Wes Matthews really proved who he is, and probably is gonna get a lot of minutes in the postseason. Um, for the Warriors, man, they were just turning the ball over immensely. I will give credit to Lakers defense. They played great, but also in the grand scheme of things, the Warriors just like were bad. Turning the ball over. That's kind of the thing. That's kind of the slight on Steph Curry. He does lose the ball a lot. Um, Draymond Green was not as great defensively in the second half as he was in the first half. Andrew Wiggins was not hitting the shot. Jordan Poole actually had a pretty decent game, but obviously missed a lot. Obviously missed some shots. Juan Connor Anderson also hit some shots, but obviously wasn't great down the stretch. But yeah, and it came down to a LeBron James 34 foot three at the end of the shot clock for for the Lakers to pull this one out. Very clutch three. I don't know why the talking heads on ESPN are saying, "Oh, it wasn't clutch. It was luck. It was luck." I'm looking at you, Stephen A. Smith. I'm looking at you, Skip Bayless. Saying that it was lucky. I'm just like, what? Like, he was in the shooting motion. He rose up and shot it, and ironically, over Steph Curry. So, yeah, clutch shot. Clutch shot. Yeah. All in all, it was a very great game to watch. Probably the best game of the season. Back and forth. Defensively, it was great. Um, I just want to. I'll start to make a playoff. Kind of picture video. I believe later. Um. Oh yeah, but I want to talk about the game that went on yesterday, man. Obviously, the Wizards. It was the Wizards versus the Pacers for that final eight spot. Wizards came out, blew out the Pacers. Russell Westbrook was hitting his shots. Bradley Beal looked healthier, a little bit healthier, and Wiz destroyed them, blew out the Pacers. I was hitting on Twitter like the Pacers did all that to blow out the one just to get blown up by the Wizards, man. Ridiculous, man. The Pacers were not hitting their shot. They were just not the same, and they were just really bad. That's my takeaway from that game. Not as appealing, but yeah. Warriors versus Grizzlies tonight. We hope to see that be a good game, and yeah. That was it for this video, man. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you turn on post notifications. Make sure to let me know what you want to see in the next video. And yeah, without further ado, and as always, we out. Peace.
Condone that, say that you my brother, you a bitch. I say, yeah, 21, we taking off, gear shit. Remember, flashback.